Good morning. You are definitely gonna see me rewear outfits a lot. I have a lot of clothes, honestly. I just have my preferences, and it's summer, so there's some things I like don't want to wear right now because even if it is like a summer shirt, if it's like synthetic, it's giving me heat rashes right now. So I had every intention to film more throughout my week. It's Friday, but I didn't. So, um, yeah, my week has been interesting. My week has definitely been interesting. I was dealing with the crunch time of waiting for my Pell Grant for school and basically had a panic attack on Wednesday night because I was just convinced it wasn't going to happen. But it did, so it's all good. I did realize I won't be able to like live off of my grant while I go to school like I thought I would. I misunderstood that part. So the good news is my school is getting paid for. It's paid for. I will get a refund check, so I'm getting a little bit of money to burn. But I have to find a job again really quickly. I mean, I make money selling zines and art, but I have a car payment. I don't have a lot of bills. A lot of my bills are flexible, but the car payment is not. So, what? Little boopy. You can tell she loves being held. It's her favorite thing. So yeah, a lot of anxiety this week. Well, just on Wednesday night. I was literally in therapy on Tuesday telling my therapist that I was so relieved that I hadn't been having a lot of anxiety. And then it came on Wednesday night, so that was cool. Thursday, I was pretty busy. If you follow me on Instagram, you know with what and why. I don't even know what to say about it on here, but I feel like I should say something. So, I'm definitely not going to include my footage from the incident in this vlog. If you want to see that footage, it's on my Instagram. News outlets in Kansas City have reported it because it was a big deal. There was the biggest ICE raid in Kansas City, happened on Thursday, very close to my house. I am involved with the volunteer networks that are trying to keep our neighbors safe. I think for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. In my last vlog, Jess and I were wearing our fuck ice pins. We didn't really talk about it, so it shouldn't be a fucking secret how I feel about it. But because I don't want my video to be taken down, and Google is like one of the most strict platforms, YouTube is Google. I just don't. If I say the wrong thing or say too much and my whole video gets taken down, then no one got to hear me say anything. So, ICE is kidnapping our neighbors here in America. I live in Kansas City. ICE has been kidnapping my neighbors almost every morning for the last few weeks because of the World Cup. The ICE raid yesterday was at a business place, and they only abducted people who were at work. So what does that have to do with the World Cup? Anyway, that took up a lot of my time on Thursday. And then, like I said, since I have to get a job, I'm not able to just focus on school like I wanted to. I have been doing job interviews. So, yesterday was a busy day for me. Between like the mental breakdown on Wednesday and then all the drama yesterday, it's been busy. I'm hoping today will be pretty chill. So far, today has been pretty chill. I don't really know what I'm gonna get into. I know I'm going to a friend's later. And then yeah, I don't think I'm doing anything tomorrow. I think compared to like the month of June with Pride and then like last weekend being First Fridays and 4th of July, I think there's like nothing going on this weekend, or at least nothing that I'm participating in or forced to participate in like 4th of July. Oh my goodness, you're so cute. I have to get ready for a job interview I have in a little bit. I gotta say, I was really excited for this interview, and then when I was doing a little bit more research to know what questions I wanted to be sure to ask at the interview, I definitely found some stuff online that I don't love about the company. So I wrote down a list of questions. Um, Obvious ones are like, what does the role look like? It's like a lead, like a management role, and I'm honestly not super interested in going back to that unless there is some sort of promise of work-life balance. I'm not gonna go back to doing hourly management where I end up being on call all the time. That's not fair. And then I do want to ask them about the defensive 5 paragraph long Google responses, and how that ties into being accused of being defensive, because I can see that you are. So what is that? I really want to know from their perspective as a business owner and my potential future manager what they think they're getting out of being that way, especially on Google where everyone can see it. If someone says you were defensive, you really can't prove them wrong or right unless you respond to the review saying you're defensive in a very defensive manner. Then you kind of just proved your Google review right. I don't want to work for somewhere like that. I've already worked for a retail place where the boss was psycho and would respond very shittily to bad Google reviews, and I don't like working in a hostile environment like that. It doesn't benefit the business or the employees at all. It hurts you because then people who look up your business don't come because they see that shit on your Google reviews. So yeah, and then because they claim to be so involved in the community, but I can't find anything about anything they've done recently. I want to ask them what their involvement is with what's going on in Kansas City right now, because with the World Cup happening, we have had a huge uptick in ice. There was one of the largest ice raids in Kansas City earlier this week, like I mentioned already. So, full stop, you cannot claim to be a community space and community activist if you aren't taking a pledge to be anti ice. If you are somewhere that will serve ice or let ice into your establishment, I don't want to work for you. So, I was really excited. I gotta admit, I'm not super excited now. I'm going to go to this cafe. I'm going to see it with my own eyes. Maybe I'll get there and they will have I forget what it's called, but the like ice out pledge sticker for Kansas City. I think it's like the Monarch Pledge. Don't quote me on that. Look up KCDSA. They're the ones going to businesses and getting the stickers in the windows. Yeah, so I'm not super excited anymore. I'm still gonna go. Honestly, I'm just for a free fucking drink. Give me a free drink, because that's honestly a big red flag. If I go to a coffee shop for an interview and they don't offer me a free drink, yeah, so I'm going to get ready for that. Maybe after I'm ready, if I remember, I'll like film a little. I got ready for it. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I don't want to come in swinging, but I'm honestly not afraid to go into job interviews and be like, what is this? Because I have a lot of management experience. I've done interviewing. I've done resume reviewing. And especially in the last like 5+ ish years, the job search market is insane. The way they lie on their Indeed postings. I've gone to in-person job interviews where I'm sitting face to face with a human being and they can't tell me what the pay is. I literally got up and left. If you can't even tell me what the starting pay is for this job interview, why would I continue talking to you about it? Why? And I've gone to job interviews where they want you to seriously do like an hour or two of testing and role playing for free. I interviewed at a fucking car dealership and they literally handed me a packet of like exercises they wanted me to do. And I like looked at it and I was like, I'm really sorry. What's happening here? And they re-explained it to me. And I was like, yeah, I'm not your employee. I'm not going to basically be trained and then do a role-playing exercise for an interview. A first interview. That should be a second interview or a fucking working interview where you get paid. Any job I've had that between the first interview and hiring me wants me to do the job, you get paid for that. Working interviews do exist. And they are unpaid. So, it's not my first rodeo. I really want a job, but it's not worth it for me to take a job with a shitty company that will suck my soul out to work for them. So, let's see. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to go see what this coffee shop place is about. And I'll go from there. I was going to wear something nicer, but I'm just not feeling like these folks are going to be worth it. So, I just put on a clean t-shirt. I don't mind because I don't care. I have on my green pants. I was really trying to get it to where you could see it better. I don't really know. Part of me is like, why am I even still going to this interview? But maybe it's not what I think it is, and I need a job, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm about to put on my shoes and then go do that. Part of where I do get scared is just because I have gone on some interviews recently that are blatantly transphobic. Like people who can't call me by my name, which I use my legal name still. I never changed my name. And people who like won't talk to me because once they see me in person and they realize I'm trans, they literally don't continue the interview. And in my state, there's like really not a lot of protections for trans people in regards to civil rights. So not only could I be walking into just a shitty job I don't want, based off the weird vibes I'm getting from these people online, they could, for all I know, be transphobic. Because even if they claim to be like liberal leftists, there's a lot of transphobia in leftist circles. There's a lot of transphobia in trans circles. I love explaining to cis people about trans medical lists. They think I'm not a real trans person because I haven't had a surgery. You know? Yet 90% of the people I meet these days think I'm a cis man. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. When it's done, I'm just gonna be chilling until I go hang out with Jess. So, um, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what I have to say afterwards. And I emptied out my cards too. What the fuck? What the fuck? The interview I went on, I can't say it's the worst job interview I've ever been on because there was a man who was so blatantly transphobic, like I was saying, that he wouldn't even have a conversation with me. So that will take the cake as the worst interview I have ever gone on. This is hands down the second worst interview I've ever been on. So I think I was kind of mentioning before the interview that I had some questions and concerns about this place and these folks, right? So I had my list of questions I was going to ask. As I was driving over there, I was like taking deep breaths and calming myself and was like, let them explain. We don't know for sure that they're terrible people based off what we found online. Maybe there's an explanation, right? So I walk in. I can barely breathe inside of this restaurant. Like, this was a cafe restaurant. They serve breakfast food all day. They serve like lunch and dinner food. They serve ice cream. They serve coffee. They consider themselves a food hall. So the entire point of this business is that you're supposed to eat there. And when I walked in, I could not breathe because it smelled so bad. And when I say it smelled bad, I don't mean like it was a weird smell I didn't like. I mean it smelled like a backed up sewer. If you've ever had sewage back up into your basement, you know the smell. That was the smell. It's called sewer gas. So this building, this business, its whole reason for existing is so people can eat there. I could not breathe inside of it because it smelled like poop. Human poop. Like being in a sewer. I can't speak for everyone, but I know me. Imagining being inside of a sewer and being overwhelmed with the smell of sewer gas, that is not an appetizing environment for me. I personally don't want to be choked out by the smell of fecal matter when I'm consuming food. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. Especially if I'm going in public and paying a public business to feed me the food. I would really hope it's not an overwhelming fecal smell inside of your business. And there was no sewer gas smell outside. Because I know sometimes, especially in Kansas City, when they're doing work on certain things, like a whole block, 2 blocks, for like a mile, it all smells like shit because the city's doing something. Only inside. No smell outside, only inside. So, even though I was already not looking super forward to this because I had already dug up some bullshit online about the owners, I was like taken aback by this horrible smell. So the person, I walk up to the counter, I'm like, yo, I'm here for an interview. For the record, they did not offer me a drink, but thank God, I think if they would have offered me a drink, I don't think I would have been able to drink it. I don't think I could have been able to consume any food or drinks inside of this place. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe something's wrong with me because I don't want to be having my lungs filled with sewer gas while I eat food. But I cannot do that. That's not a vibe. That's not a vibe for me. But, I'm there, so I sat down with the owner. At the time, there was just one owner there. And honestly, as soon as I sat down, I said, "Is there something wrong with your sewer?" And she was like, "Why? Do you smell something?" And I was like, "It smells like shit in here." And I was like actual poop. And I didn't say it differently. I said it like that. And she starts to explain to me that it happens a lot, that it's normal for them. And I go, "So your business cannot operate in your building?" And she was like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "If you guys are a food establishment and your sewer backs up all the time, you cannot functionally operate this business in this building until that is permanently fixed." Right? So then she starts to tell me that I don't understand the situation. There's more to it. And she starts to elaborate that part of why it gets so smelly in there every day is because they can't wash their dishes until they close. And so if they do too many dishes while they're open, the smell comes. That that shocked me even fucking more. This place sells breakfast, lunch, coffee, and ice cream. Your utensils you use to prepare and serve food have to be washed every 4 hours. You sell ice cream. Every single one of your ice cream flavors should have its own scoop, unless you don't care about cross-contamination as far as ingredients and flavors. And even then, if you're using one scoop for all of the ice cream you serve, that scoop needs to be washed every 4 hours. Maybe you have a lot of scoops and you can just grab a new one. But you set a sticky, sugary ice cream scoop in a sink to sit for several hours until you're closed. You can't tell me you don't have ants and gnats in your back then. Your dish area is infested with bugs if you let your dishes sit around all day like that. I have worked at food places where we mostly sold drinks, not even food, and we literally did our dishes all day throughout the day, and we poured hot water down the drains to combat the gnats, because when you're dealing with like milk and sugar, you know what ice cream is made out of, you are inevitably going to have to deal with fucking gnats that live in the drain. So if you guys can't use your drain until after you close, you're literally just making sure your drain is filled with disgusting shit. And then of course it smells once you finally do your dishes. The owner I was talking to tells me that I'm not understanding and the other owner's going to come out and explain it better. So the guy comes out and basically comes up with an entirely different explanation, which part of it is he tells me not to worry because they don't serve their customers on actual dishes. This place that is supposedly ran by community activists doesn't use real dishes to serve their food on. Because they can't. Again, it's because they should not be able to legally run this business in this building because of the sewer issues. They should be shut down by the health department. They should have never been able to open. Like, I literally had to pull over. I was so disgusted and freaked out after I left this place. And like, I just took a shower and I want to take another fucking shower because I can't get the disgusting smell out of my head. I don't know how anyone could work there. I really don't understand how anyone could eat there. I really don't. I really don't like being the kind of person to like shit on a business. It's just like, I already found harmful stuff about these folks online that run this place, and then seeing how disgusting their establishment is with my own eyes. They are harming the community, in my opinion. Allowing anyone to work or eat there is causing them bodily harm, and they should not. If they cared about their patrons or their employees, they would close until they actually fix their sewer problems. Needless to say, I won't be hearing from them again, and I will never go there again. It sucked because I was super excited. It sounded like a really cool fucking thing, but, my last job liked to weaponize feel-good community language, even though they were pieces of shit. So, like, I'm really sensitive to, especially performative white people who like to act like they're community oriented and inclusive when they're not. If you are what you are, that's fine, but going out of your way to claim you're so amazing and that you do all this shit when you are a danger to the community, that is even more dangerous. Just kind of like slacking off and being dangerous is one thing, but when you put work into convincing people you're safe and then you're dangerous, that is so much worse.
Mom.
Said, hey, Pizza, I heard you're vlogging over here.
Say hi, Mom, for you to vlog. Meow. I wondered if he was gonna hang out of your hand.
I know. I thought he would like headbutt the
I thought
phone.
he'd grab it. It'd be a funny transition, but... Are you saying hi, Mumphy? Getting your close up.
Happy Friday. You and your...
And cheers, bitch. Yum. Yeah, why is it so tasty right now?
And nature, you too.
Welcome to my house in nature. It's like YouTube Inception. Yeah, we were just bitching about these being disgusting, and then we took a sip of them and we're like, oh, they're so good, actually.
It like matches my Slipknot shirt too.
Oh my god, it really does. Twins.
I got this on Depop, this shirt.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, man, Depop, I saw like 4 things on there that I really like.
It tastes kind of sweet.
I know, it tastes kind of earthy bready. Like I taste the hops weirdly, and I'm like...
I love it.
That was weak. You're not that into clowns, are you?
No, I do like...
Okay. Well, I thought you might like this guy.
It's puppets I don't like.
Yeah, oh, right. And then I have this guy. He's got it's a Halloween Women's Day, but look at all the fun, like, fonts that you could use, hopefully. Okay.
What, I was recording myself playing with this sleep.
Oh, nice.
What, this is too sexy to be in a mag.
It is really sexy. Oh my fucking god. That's delicious. Honestly, it's... Oh my god, yum.
X-rated. I really like this, actually.
Gun safety on this. I know, isn't that crazy?
Meat wieners.
Ow.
I definitely want the wieners.
Those
Beaver
great
tips.
cute beaver.
What? I just like woke up and looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, oh. I guess for anyone who doesn't make dried beans, this is like an important step because, especially depending on like the quality of the dried beans, there are beans in here that aren't great, and then there are like rocks. Like earlier, that thing I like held up, that was just a rock. So I almost always find something like that in a bag of these pinto beans because they're like pappies. Also, for anyone who doesn't know, I do soak my beans. I have them in water with like a little bit of salt so they plump up. I think that works well with these pinto beans. Not always necessary. I like to grind up my beans as I use them, but then I grind up like more than I need. I like to keep them in here. This has like a nice... I got this thrifting. I love it. This is my French press. This is a Query the Clown sticker. You can follow her on Instagram. Grinders. Restaurant, Chauvin, UKC. Proper. Dispo. This is Dyke Bike, the person that did my last 2 tattoos. And then this is from Element, the drink. And then you can't see this one as well. Reuseful is a organization in Kansas City who's doing repair cafes and stuff like that. So that's my French press. I do use a scale to weigh it out. I don't like get it too precise, but I just want to make sure my ratio is not super off. I usually go for like somewhere between 25 and 35 grams of coffee grounds. And then I need to boil this a little bit more. And then I do 25 to 35 grams of coffee grounds, and then I usually aim for no more than 500 grams of water. Sometimes if I have like a stronger tasting coffee, I'll do more water. Sometimes if I want a stronger tasting coffee, I do more beans and less water. I think the like ratio you're supposed to aim for is like 1 to 16 or something like that. I could be wrong. But compared to what I used to do, it's a lot different because I've had this French press for a while, and most of the time that I've had this, I will just do a scoop of coffee and then fill the fucker up to the top with water. And I thought that coffee was good, and when I first started making it the way I was trained as a barista, I was like, oh, this is really good. Good morning. I've been up for a minute. I went outside and did chickens. I don't think I filmed letting them out this morning. I let them free roam. I soaked my beans. I made my coffee. I'm about to pour my first cup. I'm not good at doing it like Jess does it. It's Saturday. Friday was really fun. Jess and I just chilled at her house. I think I took a few videos. We like drank one beer each over the course of several hours. But it was nice. We talked about a lot of different things. We talked a lot about our, like, what am I trying to say? Jess and I both technically own our own businesses. But it's also like a lot more of like a creative, like, passion project for us both too. Like, her thing is vintage clothes, my thing is like art and zines. So yeah, we talked about that a lot because that was a huge reason why we were at First Fridays last weekend, was to like research. Um, so yeah, like we came up with some fun ideas of stuff to do together. We came up with some fun ideas of stuff for each other to do. Like, Jess was the person who told me to start making postcards, and postcards have been my best seller, hands down. Anytime I sell my art to someone or I do an art trade, the postcards are the first to go. I was going through everything last night, and the postcards are what I have the least of. So that's like a good example of like us encouraging each other. Um, yeah. So yeah, that was really fun. I have no plans today, and I'm very excited for that. Um, I know last week for the 4th of July, I didn't have any plans, but there was so much happening around me that it didn't feel like super duper relaxing. And I honestly had a hard time being able to like make art or like do anything because I was like so overstimulated by all of that. So I think today will be a good day. I have some things I definitely need to be working on. I have like a week and a half until my first like vending event. So I'm hoping today will be a good day for working on my stuff I need to prepare to table to vend in another week and a half. I have a lot of stuff printed that I just need to cut out. And I need to make more copies of my zines. I'm low on my zines. So yeah, cutting some stuff out, copying some stuff. Um, you going crazy? You can see her kind of like. I will. We'll see what I show you. I'm excited for a chill Saturday. Oh my god, look. Hi guys. You know you can eat bugs, right? You can eat bugs. Part of letting you free roam is you should be eating bugs. You don't have to wait at the door for me. You don't get it? You don't want to eat the bugs? It's not a bug. If you go back outside, there's bugs. You're not very smart. Good morning. I really didn't do a whole lot yesterday. So I don't really think I filmed a whole lot yesterday, and that's totally fine with me. I mostly was like doing chores and a lot of like I cleaned out my car. And I did the dishes. I finished an audiobook I'm listening to last night, so I did that. So, yeah, it is Sunday. I am having people over in a couple hours for Sunday supper. I never know who all's gonna show up, so we'll see. I think every Sunday I've had Sunday supper, there were people who said they were gonna come. But there have been Sundays, like last Sunday, where nobody came. But it was a holiday weekend, and honestly, I was super okay with that. So we'll see how today goes. I do kind of like feel like seeing people, so I hope people show up just because I like want to hang out with people. But I understand if people are busy. I also want to set up a mock table for my vending. I have a lot of zines and prints already ready to go, but I need to see if my displays actually work because I'm trying to be thrifty and find stuff at the thrift store to use for displays instead of buying cheap plastic stuff from Amazon. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I might need to just buy the cheap plastic stuff. Not necessarily from Amazon, but it's whether you get it from Amazon or not, the cheap plastic is cheap plastic. So we'll see how that goes. I really want to get that set up because if I can get that set up, not only can I do like a trial run of my displays, I'll have an idea of like what I need to work on for my stuff, whether that is getting a different display or making more stuff. Like I don't really have signs for my table, like saying who I am and like what stuff is. So like finishing that, and I want like a perspective on what other things I should work on. Cause like I was talking to my friend Friday, and I know I need to make more postcards because everyone really likes the postcards. I hate that I'm like, with this mug, I'm right-handed, so the design faces me. I had two of these that say, "Is it Friday yet?" And it was honestly amazing because I got them both thrifting. It's just a mug from like, I think Target or Walmart. Room Essentials, that's Target, yeah. But I found one thrifting, and then I found a second one thrifting. So I actually had like the pair. It was really cute. But one of them broke. So. Mm. So yeah, I want to do that. See what that looks like. If I remember, I'll try to show you me setting up or like what my setup looks like. And then I can kind of get comfortable in my little studio room. And if people want to show up, we can hang out in there. I can keep working on stuff if people want to look at what I have and buy things. That would be fantastic. So I'm going to kind of just sit here and drink some coffee for a little bit more. And then I will get actually dressed and set up the table and see how that see. I am done with my day. Few people came over for Sunday supper. I definitely didn't want to film because we were just chit-chatting. We folded some zines, did some art, ate some beans. That rhymes. That's crazy. My friend made really yummy honey jalapeno cornbread. My friend brought Kool-Aid. Like whatever. Let me go get one. Whatever these are called. So yeah, people came over for beans. I don't have any beans left actually. That's a successful Sunday supper. But part of why I don't have any beans left is because I went to see my friend afterwards and I took her some. So I'm making a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Because I have the munchies. Hopefully, it is already like 11 p.m. on Sunday night. So by the time I edit the video and it uploads, it definitely won't be out until Monday morning technically. I'm aiming for Sunday for the YouTube videos. And then Monday is when I aim to post my Substacks. I also drank one of these earlier. My friend left them, so I think I'm gonna drink another one while I edit this video. I forgot, I have koozies. Anyway, I don't really remember what I filmed for this week's video. So I hope you enjoyed it. What am I supposed to say? You know how YouTube works. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Especially if you want to see more of my videos. My plan, like I said, is to be posting a video on Sunday / Monday. And yeah, just see what we get into. If there's something you want to see or you have questions about, like if you want me to talk about something specific, let me know. Links, whatever will be in the places. Look at that. I don't have a lot more energy to say anything else. Take it or leave it.